Like the fact that a warrant was granted in the first place. Like if an officer thinks they're going into a stressful situation, yeah, sometimes you do have to yell and be a little bit like, I'm not trying to condone their behavior necessarily, but like that wasn't the problem with the video. The problem was that they were there in the first place.
Exactly.
Well, the problem too with the officers was leaving her naked as well. The behavior there in the video was still wrong, but yeah, we need to look at who was executing those warrants. All around, it was just bad police work. One of the basics of police work is get the address correct, right? Like,
yeah,
not be a basic thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that would be for any job. You got to get it right as best as you can, as much as that. But specifically for those jobs that are dealing directly with the public, there's a huge responsibility there, and the ball was certainly dropped.
Just like if you're a doctor, you operate on the right patient, not the wrong one. It's as simple as that. Just get the right stuff.
That's true.
That is very true. Okay, guys, time for Chicago in 60. CTA has secured federal approval for the next phase of the massive Red Line extension project. It's going to extend the line from 95th Street down to the southern city limits near 130th Street. CTA hopes to fund about half of the $2.3 billion project. Construction could begin in 2025 and wrap up in 2029, something much needed for the South Side.
Yeah, definitely.
Healthcare workers can enjoy free coffee from 2 Logan Square coffee shops from January 4th to the 31st. It's part of the Caffeinate the Caretakers program. Healthcare workers can stop by Necessary and Sufficient Coffee on Wrightwood and Sip of Hope on Fullerton. The program ends at the end of the month, but they are accepting donations to keep it going as long as possible. And John Hanson, again, this is for healthcare, for the frontline workers, not you. Okay?
Yeah. Well, so here's my only concern. I don't want to over-caffeinate someone that's about to give me a vaccine shot. That's all I'm saying. I want steady hands. I want someone to be able to, navigate that shot right where it needs to be. But they deserve whatever they need to get the job done.
Yeah. A little tea. You want them to have some tea to get them going.
Yes, just in like the 10 minutes before they give us a shot. So
yeah, just something to chill out. Right.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Black Dog Gelato. They're staying afloat through the winter by launching a gelato pint subscription service. For $35 a month, you'll get 4 pints of their unique flavors like Mexican hot chocolate and goat cheese cashew caramel and malted vanilla pretzel. I got caught up. Is it caramel or caramel? I don't know.
That's a great debate.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
I say caramel. Sounds fancier, right? Sounds a little highbrow. Caramel.
Yeah,
but that's a good deal.
Black Dog. Yeah, I've had Black Dog. That is a trouble if it's a subscription service. I like to stumble upon ice cream and treat it like a treat, not have it automatically delivered to my house, because then the pint will go away immediately.
Yes. Yeah.
You're more of an impulse ice cream buyer.
I'm more of an impulse everything buyer, so yeah.
Oh, man. Well, hey, the pandemic has led to an increase of packages showing up at your door. That also means the threat of people trying to take them is increasing as well. We hit up some security home expert from ADT for some tips to protect your gifts.
So people are putting all these decorations and they look absolutely beautiful in and around the home, but they may be creating certain barriers or hidden spots in which individuals may be able to grab those packages and otherwise, right? So that's one of the key ones that I find. Additionally, anything that you can, create as a sort of deterrence for coming on the porch is also quite helpful. Things such as motion detection lighting and other sort of lighting elements, especially with right now, this time of the season, it's getting darker earlier, right? And so the more that we can bring those lights and bring awareness to movement or activities on the porch, the better.
All right, other news you need to know here tonight. Good tips there from new White Sox manager Tony La Russa. He says he doesn't have a drinking problem. This after he pled guilty to reckless driving charges. He did avoid jail time for his DUI suspicion arrest 10 months ago in Arizona. His plea deal means the 76-year-old will spend 1 day in house arrest and pay a $1,300 fine. Stimulus checks, in theory, could come as soon as next week. This is if Congress ever settles on a relief bill. They're still chatting away in Washington, so we're still waiting. But if it's passed, most people will get around $600. President-elect Joe Biden got the first dose of the coronavirus vaccine today. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will get hers next week. A new idea has been floated by some to pay people $300 if they get the vaccine. Felicia Lawrence, you like that, paying people to get the shot?
I actually do like that. I have changed. I started this whole situation being against getting this vaccine. I'm a lot more open to it now. Personally, I am still doing my own research. However, I do plan on getting the vaccine at some point. If you can get people vaccinated and give them money, which everyone needs right now, help stimulate the economy on several different fronts, why not?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think if you're going to give people $300, tack it on to that 600 that you put in that really, phony and flat relief package you put out. Like, it doesn't make much sense to try to tack on or make people have to do something to get money, right? When you should be doing a relief package, a stimulus in itself, it doesn't require that. I don't like it really to begin with, but also like the incentive of getting vaccinated, right, is not getting coronavirus. So that should be incentive enough.
But it isn't, right? Like, I wish it was, Brandon, but it isn't, and we know that. And you spending $300 to get someone vaccinated, you're going to save thousands upon thousands of dollars per each patient that you end up having in the hospital with coronavirus. So it's going to save you and the country a lot of money in the long run. My only thing is that there are some legitimate people that cannot get the vaccine if they have like severe peanut allergies, other allergies. They want people to wait.
True.
So if you're exempt, you should still get that $300. But if you just choose not to for whatever reason and you're perfectly capable of it, no money for you. You ain't playing.
Yeah.
I
things
wish
are
I could
getting
get
messy though. It's all these caveats, or it just gets really, really convoluted.
Yeah, I wish I could get paid for stuff I'm supposed to do. Hey, $300, you brushed your teeth. Congrats.
Brandon, that's called your job every day. You get paid and you're doing what you're supposed to do. So, and you're barely scratching by at that, Brandon. So,
oh, you think so?
Oh, you guys, stop! Before I separate your boxes.
Felicia. Okay.
Okay, well, check out these lights in Lyle. If you want to show off your home, snap a photo of your lights and share with us at cw26chicago.com. We're partnering with ComEd's Energy Efficiency Program to bring you holiday lights. We're going to show your pictures on air and on social media, so share them with us at cw26chicago.com. We'll be right back.
All right, got a mild couple of days before we get to a really cold Christmas. So enjoy tomorrow's sun and 41. Brandon.
And there's always an urgent need for blood donations. Add COVID to the mix and the need is tenfold. Amy sat down with Cliff Newmark from Vitalant to learn more about convalescent plasma donations.
Yeah, this pandemic has just impacted everything in society, of course. And, it's easy to get overwhelmed, but really we can all help contribute to the nation's health. If you've recovered from the disease, you can actually donate convalescent plasma. That's plasma which has antibodies that fight COVID, and that can be transfused into a COVID patient. A lot of folks don't even know they have the disease. About 25% of cases are asymptomatic. So if you give blood, we can take the plasma from the blood donation, and that can help a COVID patient in need. And finally, you can organize a blood drive if your place of worship or organization's open, or you can be a virtual blood drive coordinator. There are all ways that we can come together to help at this critical time when so much is needed for hospital patients.
So I would imagine if you'd show up to donate, that they would obviously test you for the antibody, then you'd find out if you had it or not.
When you donate blood, after the blood donation, so about 2 to 3 weeks after the blood donations, we will let you know whether you have the antibodies. We would then take that the plasma from your blood donation and use it for, could be used for a COVID patient. And actually then you can donate convalescent plasma subsequently, about 28 days later. So yeah, it's a great way to help.
Yeah, and such a great incentive because so many people are wondering, like, I wonder if I had it already.
Right. We don't want people who are sick who think they may have COVID. We don't test for COVID. But after you recovered, it's 28 days after symptoms, you can actually donate convalescent plasma. Or if you're like, I was sick, I thought I was sick a few months ago, whatever, you can donate blood and we will let folks know whether they have the antibodies, and then they could potentially help a COVID patient through convalescent plasma donation.
That is wonderful. And I imagine, so explain to a lot of people because they're probably worried about safety. Obviously, they don't also want to catch it during donation. That's probably why you guys are down so low.
That's right. So we've put in a number of measures to try to make the blood donation process as safe as possible. First of all, blood donation is an essential activity. So even during stay-at-home orders, lockdowns, etc., people can still go out and give blood. That's perfectly okay. The Surgeon General, FEMA, a number of other organizations have said blood donation is an essential activity. Once you actually, schedule your appointment to give and you show up, we are going to take the temperatures of those before they actually enter the blood donation center, the blood drive. Everyone will be wearing masks. We separate out the beds and the chairs so that there's social distance. And we, of course, wipe down our blood donation, all the collection equipment. So we make it as safe as possible so that people can provide for those who are in need.
Are there certain type of blood types you need more than others?
All blood donations are needed. We need all types. Those who are especially needed are O blood. O positive can go to all the positive blood types. O negative can go to every single blood type. So if there's a trauma, oftentimes physicians will reach for O negative, and if they run out, they can actually use O positive or can use O positive in a trauma as well. So O blood types are especially needed at this time.
Before we run out of time, quickly tell everybody how they could go donate if they don't know about a blood drive going on.
They can just go to vitalant.org, or they can call 877-25-VITAL, 877-25-VITAL to give the gift of life.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, we want to make sure we get the information out there. Visit vitalant.org for more information.
The new year is just days away. And if you're looking for a new job, the best way to help yourself stand out is through your LinkedIn profile.
Your network is your net worth. But before you start networking, first thing you got to do is you got to optimize your LinkedIn profile, because you want to tell your story in a compelling way for people to want to be motivated to respond to your message, right? But the first thing that you can do is to I see this too many times where candidates just basically copy and paste the same message and do an email blast or message blast or DM blast. Sometimes I've also received messages with the incorrect name. Make sure when you are reaching out to someone that you want to maybe get on a networking call or even be considered for a position, do your homework on that profile and that person, see if there's some common interest, and leverage that information.
Do not underestimate the power of LinkedIn. You guys, we got so many more tips and resources for you in all new episodes of Job Hunt Chicago. That's Sunday at 11 a.m. on the U. So don't forget to head over to jobhuntchicago.com for more information there too. We'll be right back.
But while the pandemic has messed things up for many, Ryan Trembath took a different approach. It all started with purchasing a typewriter and a curiosity for pop culture. And he joins me now to talk about this new book he's got, talking about sneaker culture and the history behind them. So first of all, Ryan, I got to ask, how did you even get into, the sneaker knowledge?
Well, it's funny because when the pandemic hit, I started just reading a lot. And I was reading a few books on sneakers, but I'd always just kind of been into sneakers. And then, I was reading probably 2 books about sneakers, and there really wasn't much on signature shoes. It was mostly, the Stan Smiths, Puma Clydes, and Nike Air Jordan get all the attention. So I was kind of searching for something with signature shoes, and I really couldn't find anything.
So are you a sneakerhead yourself? Do you collect shoes? Do you rock some J's? What's your affinity to the sneakers?
I mean, yeah, I appreciate sneakers, and but never really got bit by the collecting bug. But I mean, as far as I can remember, I've always just been into shoes.
What are some of the rarest shoes that you talk about in this book?
There's a lot from the 70s, which I don't think you can even find nowadays. Kind of like the Adidas Billie Jean King. I mean, they reissued it a couple years ago. It was kind of different though, but there's no way you could find it original. It would be broken down by now. Just polyurethane would deteriorate basically. The original like Adidas Jabbar, you're probably not going to find that. The rarest of all though is probably the Halle, which that was the name before Stan Smith took it over.
So how far back does this idea of athletes having shoes actually go? What kind of time period are we covering here?
Well, the book starts off in 1917 with Converse, and then Chuck Taylor's name was added to the All-Star in 1932, so it goes back pretty far. And then basically from 1932 to when the Air Jordan came out in 85, and then, kind of directly after.
Do you think we've reached kind of a peak when it comes to these different types of shoes that are coming out?
Yeah, I think so. And that's one thing I kind of point out in the book, like, in the 80s, it was all based on, innovation and kind of new technology. And now everything is just retroed, and they're, the wars between the shoe companies aren't what they used to be. They're all just banking on older models.
This is putting you on the spot a little bit. What to you makes a great shoe?
I think comfort. And, personally, I like leather. So anything leather is great. I really don't think you can beat the Adidas Superstars. They've been around since 1969. It's one of the most durable shoes and also the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn.
Well, Ryan, thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate this conversation. People can walk this way to the website there on your screen to catch the book, Signature Shoes, the athletes who wore them and delightful pop culture nuggets.
All right, welcome back to the Jam. Felicia, you ever going to put some ornaments on that tree or what? Is it going to forever just be the... I don't get it.
Forever just be the what?
Just the one with lights. I mean, that's the whole point of a tree.
Hey, me and my tree is my business, honey. Don't worry about what happens in this house.
Hey, it's a majestic looking tree, okay? Give her some credit.
I actually do have the ornaments right next to it. They're sitting on the floor. No one has taken the time to do it. But I actually kind of like the fact that it's simple. And with my TV shot, I feel like it matches every outfit I got on because it's white.
That's a good point, yeah. Fashion forward. You got to think about the outfits. I'd expect nothing less than Felicia Lawrence.
Even expecting the tree to adjust to you. Hope you get my gift yet or what?
At least you got a tree.
Yeah, not a shrub. We'll be back.
Right.
Hello, everybody. It is a Monday night, but it's doesn't feel like a Monday, right? Because a lot of people got the short week for Christmas, so whatever it's
like
to
Wednesday.
you, we're happy. Yeah, it's like a Wednesday, but it still has that Monday feel. Anyways, I won't confuse anyone else. You just treat today however you want to treat today. And just know that we've got a treat for you today. Oh, sorry.
I was going to shout out all the people that end up working through the holidays. I mean, there are a lot of folks that don't have it off. So, and I've been one of those people before. So shouts out to you if you were just pushing it on through. Keep going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll have shows the whole week long. No worries about that. This is The Jam. Brandon Pope is in for Amy Rutledge, doing a great job. Felicia Lawrence, amazing as always. And I'm just here with y'all. I'm John.
Mediocre
He's
John.
just here.
I'm just
here for the ride, John.
My motto in life. What do we got, Pope?
Well, allow us to drive you. I'll carry this for you, okay?
Please.
Have you heard about this story? Social media really lit up about this. The story of former Bloomberg reporter Christy Smith says she fell in love with jailed farmer bro Martin Shkreli after she broke the story of his arrest in 2015. So she covered the guy and then fell in love with him. If you don't remember that name, he's the guy who hiked the price of a life-saving HIV drug by 5,000%. He is hated by a lot of people. She told a federal judge, finding love with Martin was a great joy for me. He's still locked up over a fraud conviction, and she's trying to get him released from jail, put him in home confinement because of COVID, and it gets worse. He's actually ghosting her right now after she tries to do all that for him. He told one reporter at Newsweek that he wishes her the best, but is not currently speaking to her. She's loyal, though. She told Elle that she will wait for him, which I think is bad advice. She should probably not be doing that. She shouldn't have been doing this anyway. And she told the New York Times that she never learned in journalism school that this is something that would happen, that you would fall in love with someone you're interviewing. And it's like, it did. What journalism school did you go to? They tell you don't be in relationships with people you're interviewing. It's called ethics. It's called standards, boundaries, you know?
That part of the story bothers me way less than the other parts of the story, so I'm going to focus on those other parts. Dude, if you get ghosted by someone who is permanently in one place, then you have an issue, because that's hard to do. Like, you know where he is. You know where to find him. He in a jail cell. And if he is ghosting you, then that love is not equal, right? And like,
how you ghost somebody in prison?
Also, yes, that's pretty skillful. Also, he was like the most hated person on the planet and in America. I'm not faulting her for falling in love, because everyone has interesting choices sometimes in who they fall in love with. But man, oh man, this is one of the messiest love stories I've ever heard.
Which makes it great for television, which is why we're talking about it. But I will say, I think she was 100% taken advantage of. I think he groomed her. I think he, metaphorically, wined and dined her. And I mean, I think that she was taking advantage. And well, he wasn't always in prison.
We're saying that's how they met, though. I mean, like, you're saying she couldn't resist his charm, the charm of the farmer bro? Oh. Have you seen the farmer bro? Have you seen him?
I also think some people are susceptible to instances like this, and she was one of those. I feel like he preyed on her, and he found someone that was, for lack of better words, weak enough that he could take advantage of.
Hold on. We don't know exactly what happened here. So I don't want to, I don't know about that. And a lot of women and men fall in love with people that are in prison. Like, this is not like a new thing. Ted Bundy got married in prison. Like, let's not this happened.
And there are some attractive people in prison.
That's what I feel like was described in the article that she was quoted in Elle, when she was just talking about the details of her relationship and how they first met and how he kind of leaned on her emotionally, and she felt sorry. She felt compelled, which is what women do. She felt compelled to help and to help support and to be there for him when she probably shouldn't have. She was vulnerable too, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for her.
Deeper.
No. Clown makeup.
As we get ready to say goodbye to 2020, it's also a good time to say goodbye to people who might be toxic in your life. We've got relationship guru Keishorne Scott here to chat more. And Keishorne, this is the time where you examine things as you head into the new year, you want to be all good to go.
Yeah, you have to be good to go. You got to be ready mentally, emotionally, and physically for it.
Yes, indeed. Well, Keishorne, the pandemic and all this wildness we've had in 2020, it's been rough on a lot of people. So how do we know if someone is really bad for us or displaying toxic qualities versus just having a hard time and deserving of grace?
I mean, grace is a very powerful word. And I always tell people you have to give grace in a relationship, even friendships, romantic, or any kind of relationship. I mean, when you get to a point where you're losing yourself in that relationship, where you're giving so much to a person and you're not getting anything in return, I think that's when it becomes toxic, not only in the relationship, but to yourself. Because now you're kind of pouring into people who's not giving nothing back to you. And then you find yourself just going in a roller coaster consistently and really depreciating in self-love.
I am thinking about my best friend who a guy from 2 years ago popped up in email and she is just like, nope, shut it down. I got to block that too. I mean, how do you manage that? And how do you judge whether or not this is someone who's just emotional around the holidays during a pandemic and quarantine? Or is this a door that I should reopen?
I mean, you got to think about the last time you guys communicated. Like, when was the last time you guys even spoke, right? And if the communication was, did he check in off and on? If he's checking in off and on, then of course you can welcome that back in if you and him is in a position to accept and give and receive love. Other than that, no. Because a lot of people, they get lonely during the holidays and they act on their loneliness. Because a lot of people are afraid of being lonely. People think that singleness around this time is a curse, and it's not.
How do we move forward, especially in our relationships and trying to find love without carrying the baggage from 2020 and those who may have been toxic for us back then?
I mean, I tell people this: you should spend November, not even November, we could go all the way back to October, November, December, and make a list of all the traits that you don't want to walk into 2021 with, because 2020 was a whole disaster, right? We had a lot of ups and downs. We had a lot of lives taken from us. It was so much going on. We need a mental break, and we need to choose us for these last couple of weeks, this last month. Figure out where you want to go. Set realistic goals and expectations. Yeah. And it's okay to tell people, no, I don't want to carry you into 2021, and let it go.
Yeah. And Keishorne, some of what you said, it sounds like it'd be good for married folk. You've been married for 5 years, almost 6 years now. So congratulations on that. What would you say to people who are in those long-term committed relationships that want to move forward? How can they revitalize in 2021?
I will say date more and keep understanding your spouse. I always tell people this: you will never know your spouse. You will never know them 100%. You will continue growing with them and learning them. So never forget why. You have to have a strong enough why when you're in a relationship, single or in a marriage. You have to have a why. Your why is what's going to sustain your purpose and give your marriage value. So if you both have different whys, it might be conflicting. But if you know that, hey, I'm in this because I love you with grace and intentionally, and despite all the arguments, the disagreements, I'm going to still stand because I believe in us. So my advice is keep believing in your relationship, keep believing in your marriage. And you were brought here for a reason, not a season, but for a reason.
Thank you so much for joining us and dropping these gems for us, giving us a lot to think about as we head into the new year. You can follow Keishorne on Instagram and Facebook.
That's right. We are getting ready for the new year, and so is New York City, because they're saying the ultimate goodbye to the dumpster fire 2020 was. So the 2021 New Year numbers arrived in Times Square this morning. Thanks to the pandemic, there won't be the traditional Times Square party or live music. Womp womp, but that's pretty cool. But as we prepare for the end of the year, we're playing a little game called Hindsight is 2020. So here's how it works. The first
I spent all weekend
to stay,
studying, so.
Oh, have you, John Hansen? Well,
well,
good.
We've been
We're
so
hope
bad
you
at
win.
it that. Yeah. Okay, right.
And watch them
Let
lose.
me explain the rules for anyone out there who doesn't know. This game, we're going to put out an event that happened. If it was 2020, you'll let us know. And if you get it right on the month and year, you get a double point. It might not have happened in 2020, though. So let's see. Let's test your knowledge.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Y'all ready? All right,
Yes.
first one up. Amy Klobuchar couldn't name the Mexico's president.
January 2020.
That was
no, that was
2020,
last
yeah.
year.
No, it was
Last
January
year.
2020, the Democratic debate.
Yeah.
It was this year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Was it 2019 or 2020?
February
2020.
I get one, though. I get 1 point there.
Okay.
All right. 1 point. He studied. Bel Air mansion featured in the Beverly Hillbillies sells for $150 million.
Not
like that was
2020.
this year. No, that was
say
this year.
not
last
2020.
year. I say it's
2019.
October. Yeah,
2019?
October 2019.
2019.
You're going with October, John? You
Yeah.
did study. You sound confident. Let's see.
Oh,
December
December
2019.
2019. Well, that's a
Well,
point
we
for
got
me.
it 2019. Couple points
give
all
Felicia
around.
a point.
Okay.
Let's give it to Felicia.
Twitter
I saw the
and
answer. That's May.
That's easy.
I know that's
You
May
got it.
2020.
I didn't see it. Go.
All right, this is for Felicia then. Twitter adds warning labels about President Trump's tweets for the first time.
Oh, that was this year. Oh,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
yeah, she saw the answer. She played
Few
the old.
months
I
ago.
didn't see it.
no, I didn't. Whatever, John.
Felicia
I thought
wins.
that was so much later. Take it, Pete. You got this. It's all yours, Felicia.
Yeah. Okay, girlfriend. All right, Chicago girl Drew Sidora. She's on the Real Housewives of Atlanta this season. She's back on the gym, bringing all the heat. We're gonna dish with her after the break. Stick around.
Me and my husband, we've almost been divorced. He left and didn't tell me where he was for like 3 days. I still don't know where you were.
I was always accessible.
Where did you go?
Oh, wait, the drama. It is heating up, okay? Let's get to this. She is an actress, a singer, Chicago native, and happens to be the newest peach on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Friend of the show, Drew Sidora, joins me now to talk all about this drama. Drew, it looks like you are bringing it this season.
What's up, Chicago? Felicia, my girl, like my hometown
my hometown girl. I'm so excited to be here with you. But yeah, over in the A, things is definitely heating up.
Oh my goodness. Okay, before we dive into it, how did you even end up on this show?
So actually it was a interesting story because they actually approached me back in 2015 when I was pregnant with my now 5-year-old Makai. And right before I was coming to Atlanta, my water broke while in Chicago at 28 weeks. So it was very, very scary. I ended up being rushed to Rush Hospital, where I was placed on bed rest for 5 weeks. They're like, you're not leaving until you have this baby. I'm like, but I'm supposed to be going to. And so for us, it was just like, it wasn't the right time. Obviously, you know, our children, that was priority. Keeping and delivering a healthy baby was everything. So that just wasn't God's timing. So they approached me in season 12, and I had a chance to hang out with Eva Marcel, and I attended Cynthia's wine cellar opening. So I was like, okay, you know, we here. And then they came back season 13, and I was like, all right, my husband and I, God is telling us something, 3 times a charm. How many times does an opportunity come? 3 times. Like, he was definitely telling us that this is meant to be.
I'm happy to hear that because I got to keep it real for you. I don't want you on this show. I don't want you on the show because, in my opinion, you are too good for this show. And maybe it's because you're a Chicago girl and you hold a special place in my heart. I don't want anybody to mess with you. I don't want them to say anything bad about you. I don't want them to, you know, do anything and broadcast, you know, your marriage too much or in a bad way. I don't want it. You're too good.
Like, no. I mean, I think for me, I'm an actress. So when you see me play a character or do a role for anything in television or film, you never really get to see my humanistic side. And so I felt like for people to know, yes, I have a successful career, but I'm still a human being, y'all. I do not have all the answers. I'm not perfect. And I deal with struggles in my marriage. Marriage is not easy, but we are committed. And doing the show has allowed us to really do things that maybe we would have put on the back burner. You know what I mean? So after you saw the big blow up in the first episode, we immediately were like, okay, we need to get into marriage counseling because this is not who we want to be. And so I think on both ends, it's an inspiration. And anybody that's married knows it's not easy. But at the same time, I want people to know that just because you're successful doesn't eliminate you from going through real things. My father was recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and you'll see a lot of that as well. And so we're just on a journey of life, and life is people gonna talk about you. You're not gonna get along with everybody, you know? And so I am just choosing to be super authentic and vulnerable in this season in my life, in order to let people in to hopefully be inspired.
Yes. Okay, well, you know, we can always chat it up for hours and hours with Drew Sidora, but we're pressed for time, you guys. So make sure you follow Drew on social media and watch her Sunday nights on the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Season 13.
We love us some Drew. Thanks, Felicia. Guys, people are going to be looking up to the night sky tonight. Something real rare is happening. I'll tell you all about it in Trending. We'll be right back. Y'all, I'm about to bring your social media timeline to life. It's time for trending, and it's time for my top 3. First up, Kim Kardashian. She is spreading the love this holiday season. She tweeted this out today, and she's giving people $500, 1,000 people for the holidays because they've been struggling this year. All you got to do is tweet her your hashtag. Simple, easy, get your money. Love it. And 2, this just broke a couple hours ago. Comedian John Mulaney has checked into rehab for cocaine and alcohol abuse. Now, in some past interviews, Mulaney has come out and said that he's been struggling with this for a long time. He started drinking when he was 13. He's gone on benders, even drinking perfume bottles, and he got sober at 23. Now, since the pandemic, he's struggled and relapsed, so he's checked himself in. 60-day rehab. It's good that he's getting the help he needs. We'll be thinking about you, John Mulaney. And finally, tonight, the stars are aligning for Jupiter and Saturn. They will look the closest they have ever been in 800 years, shining in that southwestern sky. Now, it's called the Great Conjunction, and this has been sparking this new meme trend that I had to do a lot of research on today. It's a running joke that Black people will tap into superpowers and unlock, quote, real DNA, and it all started from this tweet from Lottie Dot. So, Brandon, you posted this on Instagram. You got your superpower. How do you
Tap
feel?
it in. I feel
How
rejuvenated.
Are you
I woke
today?
up.
Fill us in.
I woke up feeling kind of tingly. I felt a little pep in my step. A little jolt in my shoulders. A little bit extra. Right? That real DNA. We're on a higher plane now. Okay.
If it's tingly for too long, you need to get that checked out, Brandon, by the way. So.
Okay, timely joke, John Hansen. I too have reported tingling. I mean, it could have been just from my physical therapy that I went to for my knees this morning, but I am reporting tingling.
I am just so happy that many months ago I joined the Black Twitter and saw
Did you?
these
You're
memes.
in?
Yes. Oh,
I texted
I'm in.
Brandon today I said, I got to get in. I was like, what is going on? I missed all these memes. I had to research and Google. How'd you get in?
Let me just say, you just got to follow the right people. You got to follow a lot of Brandon Pope's followers, basically. And then you you enter in this magical world of amazing memes, hot takes, and incredible things that is way funnier than anything that we're doing, Krista. Like, our magical powers are gone. No, it is so much better.
And right around Black Twitter.
And I gotta ask Brandon and Felicia, it's like right around 10 o'clock at night is where like Black Twitter takes over Twitter till about 3 in the morning, and it is on point.
Yeah, it's free
Krista,
entertainment.
Did you just ask how much it costs to get in?
Well, Brandon said I'm invited to the cookout, so
yes. Krista, we'll get you a burner account. How about that? We'll make sure you get a nice burner, and we'll teach you the ways. Maybe you can get pedals too.
Perpetrators.
I just want to laugh. I just want to laugh from 10 to 3 a.m. with all of you guys.
I can't sleep. We don't need any perpetrators, Brandon. But yes, you guys have definitely earned a cookout invitation. This is true. It's an honor.
Nice.
One plate.
Not everybody gets that.
You get one
make
plate.
the mac and cheese.
No second.
Do not bring the
mac and cheese, Krista.
Do not. You put no mac and cheese, Krista.
You don't bring any food.
time for the deeper dish. And today is, we're getting deep here. We're dishing about something that you tried that you thought would be easy, but was not as easy as it looked. Brandon, wait, what's happening, Felicia? Who are you talking to over there?
My Instacart order is here. They're a few minutes early. It was time for at the end of the show, so I'm trying to make sure all my groceries get in the house. And yeah.
Okay, I was like, something's happening off screen. All right, Pope, what would you try that we thought would be easy?
Yeah, when I was in high school playing football, I was told I need to do an off-season sport to stay fit and active. I said, let's do track and field. I'll do shot put. Should be easy. You throw a ball. It's a heavy ball. You just throw it as far as you can, right? No. And guess who was the worst shot putter on the entire shot put track and field team? It was this guy, because I just thought you just throw a ball.
It's a heavy ball. It's all about form. Interestingly enough, mine has to deal with balls too, but a different kind of one, volleyball.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll keep it real. I got on the volleyball team because I was tall, and I got on the team, and it wasn't as easy as I had expected, because all of a sudden the ball was over there and I'm over here, and I got to get over there in less than 2 seconds. So volleyball was not easy for me. It was horrible.
Chris, how about you?
Let's just keep this ball train going.
Keep the ball rolling.
Keep the ball rolling. Golf looks so easy. You just whack the ball. And I know our Felicia Lawrence is a golf superstar, all-star. So yeah, it's not easy, Felicia. You're just really good. Probably all those superpowers you have.
Doing a handstand.
Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna
we had a ball.
We'll see tomorrow.